Alright, here we are, guys. First things first. With planning this layout, the first thing that I needed to come up with, that you would need to come up with if you're working on your own layout as well, is the scope. Obviously, we have my original layout here, which is 2 foot wide by 4 foot long. This layout I wanted to be a bit bigger, but I still need it to be compact enough that it can be stored away. Now, with this table that I'm currently using, this is 2.5 feet wide by 6 feet long, which I think is probably going to be the ideal length to have as big of a layout as I can and still have it be small enough that it's going to be portable and storable. Because eventually this whole section of the room here is going to be an extension of the HO scale train board over there, which is going to come off right around here. I know you can't really see because everything's covered up with books right now, but it's going to come off right about here, and then it's going to widen out here to about just over 3 feet so that we can have an 18-inch radius turnaround. So I need this layout, and I'm probably going to use this table or a similar table as the baseboard, and then build up something like this on top of the board, on top of the table rather. And that way it will still be small enough lengthwise that I can lay it up on its side and it will still fit underneath the HO layout. Kind of probably along the back wall here or along that back wall, just depending. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to look yet. So I think we're probably going to stick with this as far as the size goes. Now the other thing is how I want the track work. When I decided that I wanted to upgrade from this layout to a bigger layout, the first thing that came to mind is I didn't want to have just your generic oval. I don't know if I'm going to be able to accomplish anything other than the oval, however, using what I've got here and expanding upon it. The reason being is that these curves that come in the Kato starter set, you really need about this much space to turn around. So there's not really a whole lot of extra wiggle room left over. I could not use those curves and instead go with the outside loop that I had on this layout, which was the 11-inch radius. But the smaller curves you go, the little more finicky some rolling stock will be. These guys, for instance, these cars that I have from Kato, they will not run on anything smaller than this with a locomotive unless you upgrade the locomotive's coupling to a long shank coupling, which is not something I necessarily want to mess with. I like the broadness of these curves. If I end up having more than one loop, this would probably still be the outer loop, and then I might do the 11 on the inside if I was going to have a double track main, which I don't know if that's going to be the case. We're probably just going to have a single track. But that's to be determined. Right now, just experimenting with the little bits of stuff that I have here. Obviously, we have the M2 starter set, which I looked at a couple weeks ago, and then recently I went to my local hobby shop and I've just picked up a set of buffer stops, track bumpers, and then one number 4 switch, which we're going to open up today and add that to our track and just see what we can do with a single siding. It's probably not going to be much, but it is what it is. The other thing that I wanted to test out today, before I get too heavily invested in stuff, especially with the switches, since buying the individual switches, they don't come with these little switch add-ons. So if I'm going to buy these, I need to test and make sure that what I've been told is accurate. And I'm pretty sure it is. I just want to verify it for myself and with you guys here on camera, that you can have the track power be run through the DCC on NCE and then have the switches powered separately on DC using the Kato power pack that comes in the starter set. So that's the other thing that I want to experiment with very briefly today. Alright, let me show you what I picked up to add to the M2 starter set, and then we'll go from there. So I picked up a set of straight bumpers. This is the specific version. They had like 3 or 4 different versions of bumper at the hobby shop. This is the one I decided to go with. I really wanted to get the one that actually had like an actual light on it, but it was about $3 more than this, and it only came with a single bumper. So I decided to go a little bit cheaper and get the extra bumper, even though we're only going to have one siding right now. I'm going to just pop this open. And something that was interesting that I didn't realize until after I bought this, if you look on here, the actual bumper section of this is a separate piece from this little bit of straight. So I guess theoretically, does this come apart? it might come apart. It doesn't want to, and I don't want to break it. So I'm just going to leave it together for now. This probably comes apart. Again, I just don't want to force it. It looks like there's something going on here with the way it connects in. Or is that just the uni-joiners? I think that's just the uni-joiners, actually. Either way, this probably comes apart. I just don't want to risk breaking this piece by accident if they're not meant to be taken apart. So we've got 2 of these. We're only going to need 1 at the moment, but I have a second for when I get another switch or pick up one of the variation expansion sets, which I'm planning to get, 1 or 2 of those again in the future, just depending when the opportunity arises, and don't go crazy because I've spent a lot of money already this year, and we're only a little more than halfway through January, at least at the time of filming here. Oh yeah, so here's the switch. It's a number 4 electric left-hand turnout. I thought I bought a right, but it was a left. 20-220 there, product code. And they did have another number 6 switch at the store. I decided to get the number 4 instead because I wanted to try something different than what I already had. And the number 6 also did not come with the curved track or any of these. I'll show you in just a second what it looks like. It's hard to see through the camera with the glare on the packaging here. So what do we get here? What is this? It almost looks like black, maybe plastic rail joiners. Maybe that's for insulating the track. We've got another switch power thing, although it did not come with the toggle device. I don't know what it's exactly called, but then here we have the switch itself with a piece of straight track attached, and then we've also got the curve to adjust it so that it will run parallel, and then we have another piece of straight track that's attached. So we've actually got, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 individual pieces of track that came in this one switch pack, beyond just the switch itself, which is pretty neat. Let's see. Here's the switch itself. Very nice solid action there on the switch, just like the ones from the starter set there. And then I guess because of the tightness of this curve, I'm assuming that's why you need to have this section of track so that it fits together, and yeah, that looks to be the case. Excellent. Alright, let me reassemble the loop here. We'll find a spot to fit this in. Alright, after thinking about it for a minute, here's what I decided to do. So we got our layout basically flipped around here, so I moved the passing siding over to the window side of the room. And then over here I had to move the power track over this side because there was no space to fit that small piece in over here, the way that the passing siding had to be connected with at least with the track pieces that I have available. So then we moved our crossing over here, and then I added our number 4 switch in on this side, coming in here to a very long siding, which is probably a bit too long. Actually, we may shorten that up. And then, yeah, try running a train over it, see how the cars that I have and the locomotives perform over the number 4 switch instead, and we'll also hook up the DC power pack and test the switching. So I flipped over the number 4 switch here, and just to electrically set it up, we have the this end of the power cord that came in the package. The other switches were obviously already connected when we got them in the starter set, but on the bottom here you just have these 2 little prongs that this connects to. I don't know if it matters which side is which. We're going to test that here and see. And then you've got this little channel here where you can run the cord so that it keeps the track flat. I'm just going to go ahead and slide this guy in here. Make sure that is clipped in, and then we're going to have the cord coming out this side. Make sure it's nice and tightly packed in there. I might have to to move the camera so I can see what I'm doing here. Nope, I got it. All right. Easy enough. And then we can connect it back in here. And it looks like I'm going to have to take a little break here because it looks like my camera battery's dying. Alright guys, we got our locomotive set up here. We're going to go ahead and test out the switch. I was only able to connect one of the 3 switches because these cords that connect to them and connect to the power pack are remarkably short. So let's go ahead and back up our locomotive. Or I guess it's in forwards direction because it's Norfolk Western. I'm going to run over the switch here and then I'll show you the switch in action. Or not. Well, I don't know what happened there, but we shorted out when we ran over the switch. Let's try going the other direction and see what happens here. Oh, interesting. We're shorting out on this rail joiner here. Not sure why. I'm going to have to investigate that. I went ahead and swapped this piece of track around. I don't know if that mattered or not. And then I went ahead and tested both my Burlington Northern locomotives over the join there. Didn't have any issues. So I put the Norfolk and Western back on, ran it over it again. Didn't have any issues the second time. Or I should say the third time, I guess. So now let's go ahead and try it again on camera. Let's go ahead and zoom in here a bit. I've got controllers and stuff all over the place because the wires for everything it's kind of a mess. Nothing is really long enough to fit anywhere, so I've just got everything just kind of hanging out everywhere. Alright, so let's go ahead and grab those cars in the siding here. Again, we are running on DCC. Got the DC power pack hooked up here for operating the switch. Alright, clear the switch. We'll go and stop the train. Throw the switch here. You can see happening there in the background. So, got it normalized to straight, and then we'll run back across it. Hopefully we won't short out the layout this time. Oh, what happened here? Got caught on the switch trying to roll over it. Oh, nope. Our car derailed there. I don't know if that was a problem with the switch or if that was the car. Alright, I made sure that the car was good on the rails this time. Let's go ahead and try running back around. Oh, it got stuck again. The question is it an issue with the car's wheels, or do we have a problem here on this joiner? Stuck again. Oh. Our car is getting stuck here, and I wonder if it's the couplings, if these are catching. Yeah, it looks like it. It's not easy to see, but it looks like they are catching just on the rail here in the switch. So it's been a couple of weeks since I recorded that last section of this video. I've been very busy. Just finally getting to kind of finishing this up. I was planning to do some more experimenting with the switch and stuff, but life's just been way too busy to focus on that right now. So yeah, I'm not sure about if this is an issue with this one particular switch. Something I got to figure out, look into before we get any farther on planning for this layout. Because if I'm going to start having problems with some of these Kato switches too, I'm not entirely sure if I want to necessarily commit to this. Have you guys had any experiences like this? Is it just this one particular switch, do you think? Have you had any issues yourself with these? Is it the little whisker at the bottom of the coupling? I don't know what it actually is. Like an air pipe or something like that in real life. But yeah, let me know. Let me know if you've had any issues like this. Obviously, I didn't have any problems at all with either of the number 6 switches that came in the starter set. So yeah, I'm not sure if it's just a one-off with the switch. Maybe something's warped and it's not quite, level. Kind of looked like when I was playing the footage back that at least the base of the switch was kind of lifted up a bit. So I don't know if maybe the plastic warped. Or is this just a common thing with the number 4 switches as opposed to the 6s? I don't know. I'd appreciate it if you guys let me know. And yeah, so still, like I said, in the very early stages of planning what I'm going to do with this layout. Nothing's set in stone at this point, but like I said, it's probably going to be this 2.5 foot by 6 foot baseboard. And go from there. Just so that it's going to be small enough that I'll be able to, fold up the table and store it underneath my HO layout when it's not in use. So yeah, that's about where I'm at with this layout right now. I'm gonna start over the next few weeks, start thinking about track plan. I've been looking at a few ideas online. I'm just really not sure what I actually want to do yet. Whether I want to have a double track main or a single track main. If you guys have any suggestions, any track plans you can think of that work well in a space of this size. It's 6 foot long by 2.5 foot wide. I'd appreciate any thoughts or suggestions down in the comments. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Since the last time I posted this video, we're up to like 125 subscribers. We're under 90, I think, after the last video I recorded, but kind of crazy. I haven't done anything in a couple weeks, and everybody's excited to see more. So yeah, I appreciate you guys' time, and thanks for stopping by and visiting with me. Next time I get around to sitting down and working on some train stuff, I think we're going to go over the next layout in a small space, which is going to be a look at the Inglenook shunting puzzle, which a lot of people have covered videos on that online, but I want to experiment and see what I can do with it, because most of the videos that I've seen on it are focused on just British 00. I can't think of anyone or any videos that I've seen where anyone was looking at what you can do with American rolling stock, because obviously, even though HO scale is slightly smaller than 00, American trains are just so much bigger that even if they're technically a bit smaller scale, all the rolling stock is much larger than the British 00 equivalents. Yes, we're going to take a look at that. I'm going to show you, what you can fit with the traditional UK stuff. I've got my pannier tank and a couple of, regular size, I don't know exactly what the lengths are, 20, 30-foot cars in 00, and then we'll look at a couple of different variations with HO, a small locomotive with 40-foot cars, and then also a more standard size locomotive, at least modern locomotive with 50-foot cars, and see what exactly you can fit in a relatively small space. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching for now, and appreciate your time. We'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day.